song. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Don't fence me in. That's what it was, though.
Yeah, how you know that? You used to hear that?
Probably what I grew up with.
Saddle my old saddle underneath
The western sky.
Oh.
my kite. Let me wander over yonder side the mountain side.
Oh wow! What? Isn't that amazing?
When the wind comes gaze at the moon till I lose my senses.
Whoa! I mean, all.
Don't fence me
Hello, everyone, and we are at the historic Willow Hill School, 4235 Willow Hill Road in Portal, Georgia. I have the distinct honor at this historic site, Reverend Carrie Linzie, who is originally from Louisiana
Yes.
and has spent extensive amount of time in California
Yes.
and recently moved back to the Richmond Hill area.
Yes. Correct.
Her son, Dr. Linzie, PhD sociology, met my daughter, and of course, you met my daughter as well. And based on that meeting, we are now sitting here, and I've heard so many things about you, so I want to do an interview of you to find out something about you. Where'd you go to school? Your parents, how far back you can trace your ancestry. So, with your permission, tell us when you were born.
Hi. My birth date is February 26, 1934.
Wonderful. You certainly look well, and God has been blessing you. We would not know this except you tell us.
All right.
Yes. And so tell us a little bit about your parents, your mother, your father, and your early life in Louisiana.
So I was born in a place called Frogmore,
Frogmore.
Louisiana.
Okay.
Have you heard of that?
I've never heard of
A
Frogmore.
lot of people have not,
Yes.
have never heard of Frogmore,
Yes.
Louisiana. We left Frogmore, Louisiana when I was 5 years old.
Okay.
And we left there and we went to Monroe,
I
Louisiana.
see.
So that basically I could go to school.
Oh.
That's the reason why they moved from Frogmore area to so that I could go to school. Well, that lasted for in Monroe. We lived until I was 9 years old,
Okay.
and then my dad was he was a cement finisher,
Okay.
and he had problems finding work in the immediate vicinity.
I see.
So he had to go out. And so on the weekends, he would come home, but he would leave out on Sunday night, going back to wherever he happened to be working.
Was he traveling by car?
Yes.
He had his
yes.
own car.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right.
And the car is one of the issues that took us out of Louisiana and brought us to California.
Oh. Tell me more.
My father was very good with money, and so he saved. He worked, and he saved, and he brought his money and gave it to his wife, and they kept it. Well, a car came into existence, a oh God, I forget what year.
Mm-hmm.
The Buick that had the holes in the.
Yes.
Okay, he bought that brand new,
Mm.
spent and took his hard-earned cash money
Mm-hmm.
and bought this in the South
Yes.
during that year. Well, certain people,
Mm.
you're not supposed to have this car.
Yes.
And so they started jeering, and as we rode through town, jeering and calling the N word. And so my father said, "Oh, this is getting hot." And
Mm-hmm.
so we had an aunt that lived in Pasadena, California,
Yes.
and so they struck out for California. My father, his friends, a couple of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
When they got to Oakland, California, they stopped there, and my father said, I wrote back to my mom, told her to sell everything we have and bring me my children, and you all come on to
Mm.
California.
He drove all the way there with that car?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
What color was the car?
Oh. Now I can't remember. It was blue, either blue or green. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember.
Was it a 2-door or 4-door?
It was a 4-door.
It was 4-door.
I can remember that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And the inside, you don't remember anything about the color of that, do you?
No. I
Okay,
don't
good.
remember.
And so it sounds like y'all left Louisiana because of harassment.
Yes.
And
yes.
they were trying to intimidate you because you had success in the family
Yes.
and was able to purchase a car, and other people weren't able to purchase a car. And so that created envy.
And my mom was a maid, and he went to pick her up after work in the new car,
Mm-hmm.
and the boss told my mom, tell your husband, don't you ever come to this house to pick you up in that car.
Oh, my, my.
It
Even
really-
the person she was working with resented it.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably they didn't have a nice car.
I don't know. I was only 9 at the time, so. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you travel to California? What mode of transportation?
Well, they had a friend that came with my mom and my sister and I, two of us, two children,
Mm-hmm.
and it was during the war. We traveled on the train.
On the
I
train.
can remember the train ride.
And that was World War II.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you remember the ride on the train.
I remember the ride on the train. I can remember the soldiers that were predominantly the passengers.
Yes, being transported.
And I can remember them saying, the children can sit as long as there's not a serviceman standing.
I see.
But if there was a serviceman that was standing, we had to get up.
Did they have separate cars back then, or was it all integrated, the cars?
No, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Okay. But did y'all have to take your own lunches on the train, or were you able to purchase food on the train to eat? You wouldn't remember that.
I don't
You were 9 years old, your mama. Okay. Before we go any further, who was your daddy's daddy? Do you remember him, your grandfather? Do you remember your grandmother?
I remember my grandfather on my mother's side.
Okay.
His name was Willie Harbor, Harbor,
Willie Harper.
Willie Harbor.
And he's from Louisiana?
Yes,
Okay.
from Frogmore.
Frogmore.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And my birth certificate says the little pit. So memory for me is
Well, that's okay. You're doing quite well, and
Okay.
you are recounting some of your life stories.
yes.
And
Concordia.
Concordia.
Is where the records were.
I see. So, can you go back farther than your grandfather on that
I-
side?
I can't.
What about on your grandmother who was married to your grandfather? Can you go back
That's as far as I can go back.
on her and as well? Okay. All righty. So, do you ever recall any people in slavery in your family?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. So then you ended up in California. So most of your education was in California. Now, what city in California?
Alameda,
Alameda, California.
California is where we ended up living during the war.
Okay.
And my mom and my dad worked in the Bethlehem Steel
Yeah.
shipyard,
Okay.
right outside
Yeah.
the tunnel that the tube that separated Oakland and Alameda.
Okay. Was that a good job?
That was an excellent job for my dad because he could then be with the family, didn't have to go out.
Okay.
And then one day they asked my dad, "Do you know of anybody else who's looking for work?" Okay, this was during the war, right?
Yes.
So people were in need, and he said, "Well, yeah, my wife." And would you believe they took her and they trained her to be a pipe fitter?
Oh my goodness. There weren't too many ladies pipe fitters back there.
Yeah, they trained her to be a pipe fitter. So
Okay.
yes, both of them worked in Bethlehem Steel Shipyard.
Now they worked during the daytime. Now who took care of your children at? Well, you being at school most of the time, but I guess during the summers you would be home. Now who would keep you when your parents were away?
Well, I can only remember my mom and my dad,
I see.
and I guess it's kind of like my children. Nobody kept my children. We worked hours where one of us kept them.
Okay. Now, how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Okay. And alive, I have 2 brothers left.
Are they older or younger than you?
I am the oldest.
You are the oldest of all of them.
Yes.
And you were born in 34.
Yes.
And your 2 brothers left were born in what years? How many different ages?
Wait, let me tell you this little story. For, I guess, 12 or 13 years, there was only 2 of us in my family, the 2 girls.
2 girls.
2 girls. When we moved to California, one day my mom and my sister and I was roller skating on the sidewalk, and she fell flat on her butt,
Oh.
and injured her back.
Yes.
The doctor built her up. Okay,
Okay.
healed, got her really, really healed. So much so until they started having children all over again. After that long period of time of just 2, my mother being ended up being the mother of 9
Wow.
with 2 sets of twins.
Oh, really? Boys and girls are
2 boys, 2 sets of boys. Out of the 4, only one is alive.
One is alive. That's one of the twins.
One of the twins.
Okay, now were they identical or fraternal twins? They look exactly alike, or they would
We
look
don't.
different?
I don't know because the first set of twins were not. They didn't weigh enough.
They were premature.
No, I don't think they were premature. I just think that they did not weigh enough at
Okay,
birth.
I got you.
And so they had to. They left the twins when she had them. They had to be 5 pounds before they would let them come out. So before they got to be 5 pounds, one of them passed.
Oh,
But that other one is the one that's still alive.
okay,
Okay. Then she had another set of twins, and both of them passed.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting story. Now, how many brothers and sisters did your dad have that you knew about?
That I think the record says something like 11.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
How many siblings did your mother have?
My mother had fewer, and I know less about them than I know about my father's family.
Okay. Now, when you were going to school in California, was the school integrated or segregated?
Integrated.
It was integrated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
It was. This was the first experience. I was 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first experience with an integrated
Okay.
classroom.
Okay.
But I loved it. I loved it. I really did. And I love what they did.
Okay.
One little thing. They would, at lunch, break time,
Mm-hmm.
they would bring in us a carton of milk
Okay.
and a graham cracker.
Oh, wow. A graham cracker. I love graham crackers.
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
That sounds like
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
So, when you were in school, did you participate in any sports or extracurricular activities?
I did not.
You didn't sing in the choir or anything like that?
I did
Okay.
not. My parents my dad especially, go to school, you get back home.
Mm-hmm.
Go to school, go back home.
Okay.
Yes.
He didn't allow too much idle time.
No.
They used to say idleness is the devil's
Devil's
workshop.
workshop.
I know he must have told you that quite a bit.
Yes,
Indeed. Keep him busy, keep him busy. So how old are you when you graduated from high school, approximately?
Oh, okay. I graduated high school in 1950, 50 or 51.
Okay, in 1950 or 51.
Yeah.
And you was born in
52.
34, 44, 54. So you was about 18 years old when you graduated. And then if you was born in 34, that'd be 44, 54. So you would have been somewhere around 51 or 52.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
52.
All righty. Good. Do you still have your graduation picture?
I may have somewhere.
Okay. Good. So tell me about your husband.
Okay. When I was right after I graduated from school, I met my husband
Okay.
at church.
At church.
At church.
Good place to meet.
Yes. And there's a little story that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes something like this, that I was baptized on a Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
That Wednesday night after I was baptized, you had to come back on Thursday night for communion.
Okay.
That night, my husband got a call to the ministry.
Wow.
So they say after I got
Mm-hmm.
to be a child of the Most High God,
Mm.
then he was called into the ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they said that I could not be a missionary because I had a passion that I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be a missionary.
Okay.
And but the pastor said, no, you cannot be a missionary with a ring on your finger.
Mm. My goodness.
So I gave him back the ring. I
No, I don't have a ring on my finger. Can we go to?
So of course he convinced me that we could do ministry together,
Mm-hmm.
and and that we did do eventually,
Okay.
because the first year I was married, I got pregnant, of course,
Oh.
and I started having children.
How many children did you have?
5 sons
5 sons.
and 1 daughter.
Boys run in the family. Even
Yes.
when you go a generation back, you produce lots of boys. Oh, wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
so your husband was a minister?
So he got his call to the ministry. Remember the night that I was baptized?
Yes. Oh, my. Okay.
Yeah.
And so when did you become a minister?
I became a minister maybe 10 years after we were.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you see as some of the challenges of being a minister, a woman who's in the ministry, a little bit different from a man in the ministry in terms of acceptance?
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Not accepted.
Yes.
In my day, I was a member. We were a member of the famous church in Oakland, Allen Temple
Mm-hmm.
Baptist Church, and when I announced that I was called to the ministry, well, the pastor accepted,
Mm-hmm.
and it was funny, funny, not funny, ha ha, but
Mm-hmm.
funny in that God was working with not only me, but there were several women in that church that was called to the ministry at that particular time.
At that particular time.
And I was I was the second woman to stand in the pulpit at Allen Temple Baptist Church in
Wow.
Oakland.
You don't know who
So-
the first one was, do you?
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but
Okay.
yes,
Okay. Well, that's
so she brought the message at the 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought the message at the 11 o'clock.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
So that was quite.
Are you
What?
still active as a minister, or you retired from the ministry?
Well, that depends on what you call
Retired.
retired.
Mhm.
Because I still work with prayer groups.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I deeply believe in prayer.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what else can you tell me about you and your life that I didn't mention yet?
Well, I guess going to seminary
Mm-hmm.
and being one of the first.
How many women were at the seminary when you were there?
I imagine that there were more, but fewer black women were there. Yeah,
Okay.
just at that time maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
It was not a large. It was American Baptist Seminary of the West.
Where was that, in California?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Good. So, did you ever go to college?
Well, I have a MDiv behind my name,
Okay. Okay.
but it's crazy because I never went to. I do not have a bachelor's.
Okay.
I do not have the under.
Masters,
Yeah, yeah. I do not have the under
but you have a
degree.
doctorate of divinity.
But I have a master of divinities. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Hmm.
That's wonderful. So, do you drive?
Not anymore.
Okay, but
I
you used to.
decided that it was time to let somebody else drive, Miss Daisy.
Well, I didn't see that curveball coming. It came right out of it.
Right out of the
Yes, yes.
right out of the deep parts of me.
Yes,
Who I
yes,
am.
yes. That is so wonderful. So you are over here in Richmond Hill now for good, or what? Or do you going back to California?
I'm going back to California next for my 90th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be 90 years old, February 26th.
Well, you don't look 90 years old.
Thank you. And I will, we're going to have a party in Atlanta,
Mm.
and then we're going to spend the night and get up the next day. We're going to get on a plane, and we're going to go to California.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to have a party there.
So you still like the party. So that's good. Enjoy life. That's good.
Yes, and I really am enjoying the later life.
That's good. That's good.
I-
Well, you have a son who's very doting of his mother. He really cares a lot about her and looks out for her too.
And has been that way all of his life.
It's been all of his life.
All of
huh?
his life. When he was a little boy, the rest of the kids would be out playing.
Mm-hmm.
He would be right there with me.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yes.
He loved his.
Broke his heart a little bit when I went to Africa. One year I went to Africa 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed South Africa so much until I thought I was going to
Live there.
live there.
Mm-hmm.
So it broke his heart, and he's, that's too far.
No, can't go for that one.
No, can't go for that one. Yeah, he's a wonderful son.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. He is, and
And I have another. I still have a son in California, and my daughter lives in Las Vegas.
I see.
And I am the mother of 6 grands,
6 grands.
6 great grands,
You have grands and great grands?
and great grand.
Oh, wow! Yes.
Yes.
No, I don't have any great grands yet.
Yes.
Well, that is amazing.
Thank you so much for
So
that.
I understand you like Barack Obama. That was kind of nice. And your son brought us some books and memorabilia in relationship to Barack Obama. So we're going to add it to our collection. But he was a very fine man. And I really appreciate when I visited him at the White House some time ago. That was the joy of my life,
I
to be
bet.
able to sit around this very smart man.
Yes,
And he was definitely that, very charismatic, and so I really enjoyed that as well. So we're glad you could come out and see some of the things we're doing. We're trying to preserve African American history.
Yes.
And part of preserving it is to talk to individuals and get their life stories and put it in archives so that others can enjoy that. So I do appreciate you doing that for us as well. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about or discuss, or anything I may have missed?
Like I said, I didn't know about this.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Well, I appreciate it. I can't think of anything else to ask you at this time, but what we're going to do is I'll get my daughter and she's going to let you tour around. I wish we had something to push you around in. That would have been helpful, but
I need the exercise.
okay. All right. Good. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate it so much. Now, did you ever go to college other than
Yeah.
seminary? Did you go to any other college?
Just a little bit. Just
Okay.
a little bit. So
Was that
how I got into into that is God was divinely ordered.
Yes. And you, just to ask you again, you don't know anybody in your family that served during slavery?
I don't. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
All righty then. Well, I thank you very much, and we may have some additional questions a little later on, but for now, this is good for us. Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Reverend.
thank
I
you so
appreciate
very
it, Reverend Linzie.
Yes.
Is it Lenzie or Linzie?
Linzie.
Okay, Reverend Linzie.
And
Reverend
my
Carrie Linzie.
Yes, my maiden name is Washington.
Washington. Wow. Okay. And how many siblings you have left? Just two?
Yes.
Okay. And everybody else is gone.
Everyone else is gone.
Well. And you are the oldest of all of them.
I am the oldest. I took care of all of them.
Are your parents still living?
No.
Okay. All righty. Well, we appreciate you giving us the information, and
my pleasure.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay then. All right. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Nkinge Jackson Flowers, and I'm here with my friend,
Yes.
Reverend
Carrie
Linzie.
Linzie. Carrie Frances Washington Linzie.
She is such a dear person, and we met several days ago and immediately connected.
Yes, and I have
Immediately connected.
and I've been talking about you ever since.
There are some people who are meant to come into your life. You don't know it until you see them,
Right.
but there's a feeling. And when I met you, I had that feeling. There was something about you.
Oh wow.
And then I met your son, and I knew there was something about you.
Okay.
And invited you both to see what we're doing at Willow Hill.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful that you took time out of your schedule to come visit us today.
And I am so grateful for the invitation. It's mind blowing, mind boggling. It takes me back to Frogmore, Louisiana, where I was born. It takes me back. So thank you so much for that. It's awesome.
We hope that you've enjoyed your visit with us.
I have.
We hope it's not the last
Oh.
visit with us.
Only the first, the beginning. Yeah, the beginning.
Can I give you a hug?
Oh, yeah, please. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
I'm here with my mom, Reverend Carrie Frances Washington Linzie. My name is Roderick Keith Linzie. I am the proud son of Reverend Carrie and my dad, Reverend Nathaniel Linzie.
You're number
So,
4.
I am the fourth son. So Nathaniel Linzie Jr., Jonathan Carl, Vincent James, Roderick Keith, Danita Marie, and Philip Craig Linzie. My mom and dad have taken care of us, and my mom is still with us, and she is going to celebrate her 90th birthday in February 26th of this year. So how do you feel about your birthday coming up?
I feel so excited about it, but I will be glad when it's over.
Absolutely.
Too much attention.
All right. We're celebrating Mom's 90th birthday in Atlanta on February the 17th at Maggiano's, Little Italy. And then we're flying coast to coast from Atlanta to California to celebrate Mom with the family at the Hilton in Newark, California. So we're very happy to be here celebrating with Doctors Jackson and the Historical Society here. We're very happy to be with you and be a part. Do you want to say hello to the folks here again
Yeah.
for historical legacy's sake?
And of course, I have said that I'm so happy to be here. I'm so honored to be here. So honored. Thank you so much. Thank you.
What advice would you give to those who want to know how to live to be 90?
I would think I would use a passage of scripture where it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. And the Lord will take care of you." Promised in His word that He would never leave us or forsake us. Out of all of the struggles in my life, I'm here to say He's never forsaken me, not one time. Always been my help in a time of storm. A very present help. And I am so grateful to God for all of His goodness and mercy to me. And so, if you want to live to be 90, well, He promised how many?
Well, can you help me remember? I know that you have exceeded 410, right? Okay, 310. 310.
And by grace and by mercy, went on 400, but I have exceeded that. So I would say God is so merciful. Such a good God to me. Such a good God.
And we're hoping to see you at 125, where we'll record another session. All right? Love you. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the photographer. He's just so special. Thank you so much.
Now, who was the first president that you remember?
Roosevelt.
You remember Roosevelt?
Yes.
He was.
And I can remember as a child during the election time, I remember saying, there is nobody.
He was well liked, Roosevelt.
Yeah,
And he passed away here in Georgia, at Warm Springs, Georgia, when he did. And I know there was a lot of emotion in the country at that time. So you remember Truman a little bit?
A little bit. And
Eisenhower?
And my son was asking me questions coming here today, and I said, you know what? I was raising. I have 5 sons to take care of,
Yeah.
and a daughter, and I was not concerned about what was going on in the world.
Yes.
I was trying to take care of those.
Had your hands full.
Had my hands full. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So you remember Roosevelt, Truman, Eisenhower, then of course the rest. You would remember Nixon, and then Bush, and then Obama. And, okay, so
But remembering the things that was going on in the world,
yes.
you know, I was not a political person.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't involved in that.
No.
Okay. What kind of discrimination did you have against yourself by others when you were coming up? Do you remember any incidents?
Yeah, besides I can remember when my dad got the car, and I can remember the white people jeering at us and calling us the N-word, and I can remember that. I can remember going to school. I guess I was maybe junior high school then. Yeah, junior high. And so in the where we lived was a military, they call it housing project. and they had upstairs and downstairs.
Okay.
So as we were walking to school, we had the little white children were up in the window,
Okay.
and they were yelling down at us, calling us the N word as we were going to school. Well, what makes this stand out in my memory is that when we got to school, I can remember being called into the principal's office and chastised and corrected. You can't be causing trouble on your way to school.
Oh. And trouble was being put on you.
Yes. So I can remember that incident, and
Where did he get his information from?
I have no idea. I imagine one of the parents must have notified the school that these little black kids on the way to school was causing trouble.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so Barack Obama, you never had a chance to meet him, did you?
I have not.
Okay, good.
But my son and I had planned for the next time he was in Georgia. We had planned for that. So
Okay.
we started saving up our little penny. when his plane flew over, we ran out and watched his plane come
Air
in.
Force Ones. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love he and Michelle.
Michelle.
So much, yes.
That's beautiful.
Such great examples. And I lived to see that day when
Good.
that black man occupied the
White House that slaves built.
Yes.
Yes, that they built. No,
and
let's
then-
not forget that.
And then I get to live to see a black woman
Mm.
in the vice president chair.
Yes, yes, that is wonderful too. That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
It is.
That from slavery
Mm-hmm.
they have come out to be these wonderful leaders.
Yes. Well, beautiful, beautiful. I wanted to get a lot of that information, social history in, and so you were able to tell me about experiences that were discriminatory that you experienced, and also you've just grown to be a wonderful person, having lived all of that, and so God has been really good to you.
God has been extremely good.
Yes, that's good. Now, who does your nails? You get them all looking good.
Oh.
Who did that?
A little Asian guy.
Oh, you go to the beauty parlor. Huh? Okay.
And so I wanted some white tips. And so he says, okay, I'm going to give you some white tips. And this is what he
You
came
came up with a nice job. You liked it, didn't you?
I do it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I
that's
do.
wonderful. Yeah.
And he was filing them, and he had on a black shirt, and the filing from the just got all over him. And so I said, "Oh, you're messing up your shirt." He said, "That's okay. Now I have part of you on me."
How profound
Isn't that something?
it is.
Isn't that something?
Part of you on me.
On me.
And you don't look at, he wasn't looking at colors or anything. He was just looking at from the heart.
Yes.
Man looks on the outside, but God looks on the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, I was raised with my grandparents too, and so I take a great interest in getting the history of different folk who've lived a long time. That's a good time. 34 years. 30 being born in 1934.
Okay.
That's amazing. Okay.
I am amazing, and I ask, where did the time go?
Yeah, I know, I know.
Where did it go?
You tell me, did you have any hobbies or anything you like working on in your spare time?
Oh, yes, I love flowers.
You like flowers?
Mhm,
Okay, good.
I love flowers.
Yeah, I love them too.
Yes, the flowers and my prayer time. I love the prayer time. That's a mission, but it's also a hobby.
Okay, okay, that's good. Well, thank you so much. As my grandmother used to say, prayer changes things.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
so when you believe,
And I am a living witness.
yes,
It
yes,
changes things.
it changes things.
Yes. I have had a lot of death, and were it not for the grace of God.
Help you get through it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, again, thank you, and I appreciate you taking your time out to share some of your early life stories and all. And so we appreciate it, and we look forward to having you for many, many, many more.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Reverend Lindsay.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
All
Bye-bye.
Okay.
And then once they graduated from Statesboro High and Industrial, then they would come back and populate these one-room schools all over Bullock County, and they would be teachers. So that's those one-room schools. And here's another one I wanted to show. This is in the 40s, the Statesboro High and Industrial School, but this is Dr. Harvey Van Buren sitting in the center. He was the first black physician in Bullock County. He was born in Sumter, South Carolina. He went to Biddle University first, which is later Johnson C. Smith University in North Carolina. And then he went on to Howard University, graduated from Howard Medical School, came back to came back to Louisville, Georgia, and practiced there 4 years, and then moved to Statesboro. And he built the first African-American hospital. They called it a sanitarium at that time, Van Buren Sanitarium. That's Dr. Harvey Van Buren. And he, when we had the previous pandemic in 1918, he was very instrumental in using his infirmary to treat a lot of the people. And these are the black farmers of Bullock County at that time who were coming to Statesboro High and Industrial for a clinic on improving farming techniques. And this is the who's and who's here are your leadership. This is Miss Julia P. Bryant, who was a gene supervisor, and those were what we call black superintendents of schools. They went around to all of the schools and made sure that the standards were good. I'm told, I didn't see this is secondhand information, but they said one of the deacons took an extra sip after communion. So I can't verify that, but that is what I heard through the grapevine. The individual churches went together and started associations, and we have the first minute from 1887 when that association was started. And over the years, we've collected most of the minutes, and we also have the history of the black Primitive Baptist churches in here, as well as the white Primitive Baptist churches. They came out of slavery, they bought land, and by 1874 they had started a school here, Willow Hill, as one of the first schools in Bullock County for African Americans. And so they made a school, they started churches, and they started other important things. But also, these individuals were collectors of history themselves. They would save their minutes, they would save the photographs, and they made life so much easier for me.
Today.
It's somebody's birthday today. It's somebody's birthday today. The candles are lighted on somebody's cake, and we're all invited for somebody's sake. An old-fashioned table is set for a day we shall never forget. Happy birthday to you. and many more too, because it's your birthday today.
Oh, how beautiful. And someone has a birthday today.